SCP-041 Object Class Safe Special Containment Procedures SCP-041 is to be hospitalized at Bioresearch Area 12. Though not Keter class, should SCP-041's abilities ever propagate beyond reasonably containable area, the risk of SCP's sensitive information being broadcast to public remains too great a risk and warrants area-level isolation away from the general populace. SCP personnel waiting to keep their thoughts private are advised to remain outside of 15-meter radius of SCP-041, beyond the designed red circle on the floor. It is beneficial to the mental health of SCP-041 to have a sitter in the room who watches television and concentrates on its programming. This allows SCP-041 to effectively watch television through the mind of someone else. The optimal sitter is a D-class personnel with below-average intelligence whose mind does not wander or have more than one train of thought at a time. Though not mind control, SCP-041 has used its abilities to coerce sitters into watching programming that they themselves don't enjoy. SCP-041's tastes vary between gore slasher films and children's programming. Description: SCP-041 is a male suffering from irreversible damage to its central nervous system, which is believed to be caused by an infection of a rare strain of bacterial meningitis. Although antibiotics were successful in clearing the infection, the membranes surrounding his brain and spinal cord had reacted to the infection by severing many neurons connecting the central nervous system to the rest of the body. SCP-041 must rely on respirator to sustain his breathing, a bioventilatory pacemaker to keep his heart beating, and a nasogastric tube to prevent nutrition. Visually, SCP-041 appears to be in a persistent vegetative state. However, observers in the presence of SCP-041 begin to realize that their thoughts, along with everyone else's in about a 10-meter radius from SCP-041, are broadcast in a semi-audible fashion. Aside from being the source, SCP-041 is also capable of broadcasting his own thoughts to those present. Anyone forming an idea using words will have those thoughts unwillingly transmitted to others in the range as mind-audible speech, which cannot be recorded by any known equipment. Correction: see Addendum U01. Mind-audible speech may be heard using whatever voice the subject chooses to think with. Most typically, this is the subject's normal voice. Visual thoughts and images are broadcast as well, but are not received as readily. Images are the most effectively transmitted when both the sender and receiver have their eyes closed. The sender concentrates on a single object without environment or background, and the receiver's mind is clear of conscious thoughts. Communication between subjects using visual images, particularly those not rooted in memory but in imagination, is usually difficult. The sender typically has trouble conceiving a highly detailed mental object from a single point of view, while the receiver will often try to fill in gaps of missing information, ultimately resulting in the receiver seeing a different image than what was sent. The difficult imagery in successful broadcasts appears to be on the person's face, particularly if the image is one of a person in motion. Although able to transmit his thoughts to others, SCP-041 is not very talkative. Attempts to persuade SCP-041 to divulge any information about his abilities have been so far fruitless. SCP-041 is typically silent and normally will not respond to any direct attempts at communication. However, SCP-041 appears to have a sense of humor as he interjects occasional comments into conversations of others. Addendum 01. While a researcher was talking in voice notes using a digital audio recorder, A fellow researcher was changing the television in SCP-041's room. While the television was on a channel of static, disembodied voices could be heard filtered through the white noise. Attempts to record mind-audible speech with white noise generators and sound recording equipment have yielded modest results. Though most audio is garbled, and recorded sounds may or may not be voices and are widely left toward individual interpretations.